try to see the sequence, the connection from the chapter 8 to chapter 9. We will cover the sections of this chapter. Then we will get into this verse, the intricacies of this verse. Is that good?
Very good.
Thank you all for joining for the Sunday Feast program. It is 𝗏𝗏 County. I'm first time here, so please forgive me if I make any mistakes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Gopi Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yasodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare श्री श्रीमती ध्रुवन के देसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय एवं विश्वपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काजर अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमती ध्रुवन के श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सप्रा गुरु गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय अमाचार्य ललिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगामयी यमुनामयी की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Gopal ki jai. नमो विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय पुत्रे श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नाम नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे. Welcome to you all. Thank you very much for joining. So we are reading today evening from Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, verse number 30. Hopefully most of you know about this verse. You know about this verse? Verse number 30? No? Most confidential knowledge? No? Apichet suduracharo bhajite mam ananyavak sadureva samanta samyak vyavasito hisa. That is the verse. This is a very popular verse, very familiar. It should be familiar, especially this chapter, the most confidential. So we'll read this verse 3 times. Apichet suduracharo bhajate mamam ananyavak sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa. Apichet suduracharo भजते मामनन्यवाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्या सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सा. अपि चेत् सुदुराचारो भजते मामनन्यवाक् साधुरेव समन्तव्या सम्यक् व्यवसितो हि सा. One person can chant.
Apichet suduracharo
bhajate mamananyabha
sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha.
Very good. Word to word. Api, even, chet, if, sudurachara, one committing the most abominable actions, is engaged in devotion service. Bhajate is engaged in devotion service. Mam, unto me, Ananya Bhak, without deviation. Sadhu, a saint. Eva, certainly. Sa, he. Mantavya, is to be considered. Samyak, completely. Vyavasita, situated in determination. He, certainly. Sa, he. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotion service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. Please repeat. Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotion service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. So we will try to understand this verse. For the interest of time, 5:53 already. So, Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Mukam karoti vacharam pangum langayate girim yatkrupatamam vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Eswaram Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम्। श्री रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, प्रभुपाद की जय, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। So here in this 9th chapter, most confidential knowledge, the first thing is in the 8th chapter, attaining the supreme. Why Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita, especially this chapter. Lord Arjuna is not asking the questions. This is interaction between Arjuna and Krishna. So why suddenly Lord Krishna started speaking from the first verse, chapter 9? Because in the 8th chapter, what did Krishna conclude with? Last verse, anyone remembers? वेदेषु यज्ञेषु तपस्सु चैव ज्ञानेत यत् पुण्यफलं प्रतिष्ठम् अत्येति सर्वमिदं विदित्वा येति पुण्यफलं तु त्याज्यम्. So one who understands that the result of all the reading the Vedas, performing the yajnas, sacrifices and everything is to attain the supreme result, automatically one gets by engaging in pure devotion service. And before that, in the 8th chapter, in the middle of the 8th chapter, Krishna is speaking very important words, because we have to understand that middle of the 6th chapter, Krishna is speaking specifically Bhakti, but he is not directly jumping, because not everybody is at that level, and it's a gradual progress. So that's why Prabhupada is stressing very much the point that one must study scrutinizingly, and one should not do parrot reading. Neither parrot reading of any, even Sankirtan for that matter, either Samsara Dava or any chanting we are doing, everything we should know the meaning, we should remember why we are doing. Then we'll be able to apply it. If we do parrot reading, initially it is okay. For the kids it's okay, but as we move on, we should know the inner meanings of this verse so that we can apply, we can meditate, we can remember, and we can attain finally. So that way the Bhagavatam verse we're discussing this morning. Tat srunvan supatan vicharana paro. That tat srunvan is significant, and vicharana paro. And then this chapter also, 9th chapter, Krishna is stressing 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Here, again and again, scrutinizingly hearing it, not ordinary hearing it, very attentively, very submissively, very focusedly, paying attention to detail. So that's why 8th chapter in the middle, Krishna is speaking very important verse about pure devotion service. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarata nitya tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yogina. For whom pure devotion service is easily available, for whom Krishna is very easily available. One who is engaged in pure devotion service, 24/7 is thinking. Ananya Cheta. Ananya means there is no other motivation, other deviation, simply thinking of Krishna. Cheta means his consciousness, mind, into everything. Yoma Smarata Nitya. Smarata remembers constantly. If there is no hearing, if there is no reading, if there is no chanting, where is the question of remembrance? It doesn't happen. If you have heard, if you have watched a movie, or if you have heard something, some news or something, then you remember it. If there is no question of hearing and chanting, reading, there is no question of remembering. That doesn't even arise. Yomam smarata nitya tasyaham sulabha partha. Then it is easy. Those who are nitya yuktasya yogina. Again he is concluding. One who is engaging. Nitya yuktasya means always. Yukta means service. It is not just devotion. It is service. Seva is the responsibility. Everyone must take, individual must take responsibility. Whatever service, easy service, you just bring a flower, you just bring a fruit, whatever it is, even simple service. But the main point is bhava. Bhava grahi janardana. The key point in the whole middle 6th chapter, the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita is put our attention to the details. Whatever teeny effort we are doing, everywhere there should be a devotion. Bhava grahi. That's what Lord Krishna is looking for. He's not looking for any wealth, anything, nothing else. Bhava has to be there, devotion. So attention. So that's why even if somebody is chanting in a different language, they may not focus, they may not be able to pronounce it. So devotees will sometimes criticize why he is not even chanting Hare Krishna, he is chanting something else. No, the Lord is looking at his bhava. If he is not able to pronounce, nothing much you can do. Still Lord is accepting his chanting. So we should try to understand this mood of bhava. So Ananya, so that's why Krishna, now the connection, since Krishna has mentioned about Ananya Cheta Sadam, pure devotion service, in 7th chapter Krishna is talking about Karma Mishra Bhakti, and the 8th chapter Krishna is talking about also Jnana Mishra Bhakti. Only this verse is talking about pure. He just gave a hint. Now Arjuna may ask question, You talked about pure devotion service. Now, how will I attain? How will I understand it? What is the process? Then Lord Krishna started explaining, elaborate. So that is the connection. So every chapter of Bhagavad Gita, very scrutinized, one must understand the section, the layout, why Arjuna is asking specific question, why Krishna is speaking specific details. What is the connection? What does it mean? So everything has to be understood very, very systematically. First time, and it has to be done in the association of devotees. Self-reading has to be there, and you have to come to the association. So Prabhupada established this process, very simple process. But it is difficult, because unless you take the association of devotee, it becomes difficult, most complex. That's why whether you like it or not like it is not of our opinions. Bhakti is not of our individual opinions. Bhakti is about following the injunctions of Shastra, Sadhu, Guru. Then that is question of Bhakti. Anything else we do not under the guidance, not under the Shastra and Sadhu, then it is not Bhakti. It is our own karma, jnana, yoga, not Bhakti anymore. So that first point we have to understand. Now Krishna is speaking in the Bhagavad Gita chapter 9. Let's look at the section. We understood the connection in chapter 8. Chapter 9, it is very simply put. The first section Krishna is speaking. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Idam te guhyatamam pravakshami anusove gnanam vignana sahitam yajnatva mokshayisyami moksha se asubhat. So Krishna is speaking the first, second, third verse, the qualifications, disqualifications, what we should have. And more specifically stressing hearing about Krishna. This is the first section. If you hear about Krishna, if you understand what is the qualification, you must have a sincere submissive faith. If you don't have faith, you cannot hear properly. Then you cannot understand everything. The whole 9th chapter will be a mystery. The middle 6 chapters also will be a mystery. You cannot understand anything about Bhakti. So that's why Krishna is stressing first verse itself. Idam te guhyatam, most confidential. 7th, 8th is considered more. 9th chapter is considered. The first 6 chapters is also considered more confidential, and then 7th, 8th is more confidential, and 9th chapter is most confidential, because pure devotion service in great detail it is explained. That's why it's called most confidential. And then further it is mentioned, Idam te guhyatamam pravakshami yamasuve. You must be non-envious. Jnanam vignana sahitam is talking about the whole material world, phenomenal world, and luminous world, and the source behind it, spirit and matter, both, everything in detail. When you understand it, then you will know about me in full detail. Means to some extent. No one can know about Krishna 100%. So at least you will know about Krishna to some extent, that to attain him. Then Krishna is specifically talking also about qualifications. Asriya dhana purusha dharmasya parantam aprapya mam nivartante mrityu samsara vartamani. You need to have strong faith. If you don't have faith, then you have to go to this birth, death, old age, disease. That chakra. Asriya dhana purusha dharmasya parantam aprapya mam nivartante samsara vartamani. The samsara chakra. It's a very important point. So this is the qualification. We need to put faith in the association of devotees. We have to put faith in Srila Prabhupada. If Srila Prabhupada says something, if the Guru says something, no question, no logic argument, why this, why that. No question, just accept it. So that is the point Krishna is specifically making this. So you have to, just like Arjuna accepted, you accept. If you want to become like Arjuna, follow Arjuna, then you have to accept just like Arjuna accepted it. So that is the first point, hearing about Krishna, first section. And then the next section is coming out. Now since you are hearing about Krishna, then I will mention about my inconceivable powers. If you have faith, if you are hearing, then I can talk. If you are not able to hear and attention is not there, faith is not there, then there is no question of you understanding my inconceivable powers. So there is step by step, very sequentially, Krishna is making that point, where he is talking about how this material world and everything in detail. So, Maya tadam idam sarvam, all those verses. That is from 4th verse to all the way to 10th verse, Krishna is speaking, is inconceivable powers, how everything is holding on to how this material world is working, spiritual world, everything is talking about. And how he is independent, even though things are coming from him, but still he is independent. He is not actually doing this creation, maintenance, destruction. That Lord Vishnu and Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are handling it. And then Krishna is coming to now, since I have talked about inconceivable powers, and you are hearing about me, now I will talk about actually who is actually worshipping me and who is not worshipping me. Because we have to understand, sometimes there may be some tinge of bhakti is there, but and there may be jnana, they are trying to understand the portion of Lord, means Brahman effulgence. or there may be Paramatma, yogis may be there, jnanis may be there, or there may be multiple worship of so many people, so demigods or so many personalities. All these things are there. That's why Krishna is talking about now. You understand also not only about inconceivable, but now you also understand actually who actually worships me. Mahatmanastu Mam Partha and other Mahatmas, what do they do? What kind of worship they do? And Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, and how they are engaged 24/7 chanting the glories of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Prabhupada makes this point in Canto 8, Chapter 5, verse number, I think, 21 to 25. Some people think that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra created by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhupada is talking about this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yes, it is mentioned Kalisantar and open many other places. But it is going on eternally. It is happening in every Brahma's lifetime, every millennium. It is happening, it is being chanted, it is followed. This Hare Krishna movement is being followed in other planets also. Not in Earth, but not just here. Not I didn't create this. Prabhupada is making this point. So we have to be clear, because everything is followed by the Acharya system. It is not created today or 500 years ago. It is there eternally. So Krishna is speaking about the worshippers, non-worshippers. Then Krishna is speaking, that's why he is talking about this. What do Mahatmas do? The great worship of the pure devotion service. How they chant 24/7. How they are Ananya Bhakti. Again, Mahatmanastu Mahapartha Daivim Prakriti Masram. They are taking shelter of the internal energy of the Lord. Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. No other thing. Only simply about Krishna. Then Krishna is talking about after worshippers and non-worshippers, all the way from 11 to 22 or so, or 24, 25. And then 26 to 28, now he is talking about glories of pure devotion service. 26 to 28. Then now Krishna is speaking, after explaining this, now Krishna is speaking about favoritism is to devotees, 29 to 31. So the last verse, today's last verse is where Krishna is speaking, Samoham sarva bhuteshu na dveshtosti na priya, and bhajanti emam bhaktya 𝗦𝗽𝗲𝗍𝗃 chāpyaham. Yeah. So I am not partial, I am equal to all, but at the same time, so those who are worshipping me and I am their friend, they are my friend. So and Prabhupada makes that point that one who is selling, one who is as a business or selling some goods, one who pays, if he is paying lower amount, then he will give inferior goods. One who is paying higher amount, he will pay higher good. Doesn't mean that he is partial. What he is doing, and accordingly he is getting the result accordingly. Same way, Lord Krishna is supplying all, but depending on how they are interacting with the love, he wants bhava, he wants bhakti, or he wants something else. Accordingly, Lord is also reciprocate through demigods or through directly him. So that's why Krishna is making that point. Bhajantu mam bhaktya. So that is a key point. So because this is the favoritism to his devotees. Now in this verse, and then the last verse is how the pure devotees, how his devotees are protected. So in this way, Krishna is laying out about the most confidential narrative, very step by step. Hearing about Krishna, inconceivable powers of Supreme Lord, worshippers, non-worshippers, and then glories of pure devotion service, favoritism to devotees, and how devotees are protected. So very systematically, and we have to study more deeper than that. Now coming back to this verse, today's verse, where important word is apichetu suduracharo and bhajate mam ananyabhak. These two words are important in this verse. So one is suduracharo and ananyabhak. Ananyabhak means pure devotion service. This is more stress. Even if at all, if anybody commits a abominable activity, suduracharo means, still he must be considered as sadhu. As is mentioned, apichetu suduracharo bhajate mam ananyabhak sadhureva samantavya. Because why? Samantavya samyak vyavasito is fixed in determination. And Prabhupada is making this point. Sudurachara, abominable activities, means mainly one who is unflinchingly executing devotion service. That means three things. We'll come to that. Executing pure devotion service, and it is accidental. It is not premeditated. These two, we have to clearly understand this distinction. Otherwise, we may think that, I might have committed some abominable activities. No, I am also sadhu. This verse is talking about me. No. Clearly we have to understand. It is accidental only. It is not occasional. Accidental fall down. There is also another point we have to understand. How will you know whether it's accidental or not? People, many might have left before ISKCON, after Prabhupada or during Prabhupada. If they are coming back quickly back to devotion service, that is called accidental. That's how you know. If they are not coming back, that means it is not accidental. There is a fault. They are not fully committed to this Samyak Vyavasita. They are not in this platform. So that we have to clearly understand. So now, when Krishna is talking about 𝗷𝗍𝗂𝘁 bhajate mam ananyavak, Krishna is speaking fixed in determination, specifically Samyak Vyavasitosa. Three things are mentioned. One who is only worshipping Lord Krishna. That is the first thing. Worshipping only me. Second thing is talking about there is no other desire other than to serve Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Guru and Krishna. That is the only business. That is second thing. Third thing is talking about there is no karma, there is no jnana, there is no yoga, only bhakti. So when Krishna is speaking here, bhajate ananyavak or samyak vyavasitosa, these three things are included. So Prabhupada is repeating the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and some portion is Baladev Vidyabhushan. Most of the Bhagavad Gita commentary repetition of Baladev Vidyabhushan, most of the portion. Srimad Bhagavatam, most of the portions are Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. But you will see there are 11 or 12 commentary, Acharya's commentary Prabhupada is referring to, but specifically in Bhagavatam you will see more of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Gita is Baladev Vidyabhushan. So, and Prabhupada simplifies it. So, Prabhupada talks about 7 things in this purport, where Prabhupada is talking about, first of all, the conditional aspect, constitutional aspect. The conditional life means sometimes we do today, we will wake up and it's a weekend, so we will not wake up, and we will wake up later. And so one day we will do, second day we may not do. It is a condition. It is constitutional means we are eternal, we are doing every day. Our constitutional position means eternally servant of Krishna, every day. The fire of Krishna consciousness is there every day, no matter, because you have a love for Krishna, just like you love for child. You don't stop feeding him. You always are thinking about it. He has to be fed, because he has time. It has to be done. Otherwise, you will be hungry, you will be sick. So same thing, if you have love for Krishna, then you will pick up the beads and chant. You will start reading Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. You will join the classes. You will attend the temple services. You will attend the Mangalarti. Whatever programs Prabhupada has given, the process is followed. And you will attend it. If you have love. If there is no love, then you can't do it. So that is a key point. Prabhupada is first making that point, conditional versus constitutional. Then Prabhupada is making temporary versus permanent. So temporary fall down means occasional. Means one who is not fixed up in devotion service, then he may fall down. But regularly he may commit mistakes, sinful activities. One who is fully fixed up in devotion only accidentally, because previous faults are there. And Prabhupada gives example in many other places. This verse is referred so many places. Bhagavatam, Krishna book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, so many places. Examples are also there in each of these books, where Prabhupada is making that point. Example Prabhupada makes that this accidental fall down is like you have a heat, we just passed the cold season, but not so cold though, but still you may use heater. But the heating, when you switch off, it takes time to come back to, the heat is still there, even in the car also. It takes time to switch off. Same way, because of the previous activities, just like the Western people when Prabhupada came to teach, before that they were committing mistakes of smoking or whatever. But they stopped it once Prabhupada has started engaging them in devotion service. But as soon as some friend he meets and he induces him to do something, then he may pick up, because that proclivity is there inside the heart. But he is fully focused, he has fully given up everything, whatever Prabhupada is saying, is doing that. But still, the proclivity, the desire in the heart is there, so that's why the accidental he may commit, because that inside, because it is very difficult. Material energy is so strong, so it is very difficult to come to that 100%, unless he is very, very strong in his devotion service. He has taken full shelter of Guru and Krishna, then it is possible to be protected always. So that's what temporary and the constitutional and occasional, and temporary and permanent are the one who is fixed up in devotion service, one who is not fixed up in devotion service. You may commit mistakes regularly, but Prabhupada is also making, one should not deride, especially the sadhus. For that matter, anybody who is coming into bhakti. And Prabhupada gives examples also. Canto 6 is the example in Srimad Bhagavatam, where 6 is talking about protection, poshana. One of the 10 subject matter, 6th canto is poshana, where it is talking about bhakti lakshanam, bhakti rakshana lakshanam. Ati Maryada Ullanganam Bhakti Rakshana Lakshanam. Sridhar Swami quotes this particular point about the Poshna. Even if a devotee commits mistake, Ajamila, Lord Indra, they are all committed mistakes. But still, because they have taken up devotion service, Lord makes sure that his favorite devotees, so he is protecting them, despite they have committed mistakes. And Prabhupada makes that point in the 6th canto. This is in the, I think, 1st chapter or 2nd chapter, where this verse is quoted. Sakrun mana padar vindayor, tad gunaragi eriha, tad batan pasa bratan. So where it means, Sakrun means once. One who surrendered only once. Once. To Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Before verse he is talking about Narayan Parayana, Vasudeva Parayana, but in this verse specifically he is coming back to Lord Krishna is the source of Lord Narayana, Lord, everybody, all other incarnations. And then he is talking about once one surrenders, like Ajamula has done previously, engaged in devotion service as a Brahmana, engaged in Narayan Shila's service to Lord Narayan Saligram Shila. Because of his service, just he has taken up. He is not fixed up. But even still, though, even when he did the just Hare Krishna, Radha Shamsundar, I don't know the deity's name. So, Radha Shamsundar, okay. Hare Krishna. So, as soon as one takes up to devotion service, in this case of Ajamala, he is not 100% fixed up, pure devotee, but still he has taken up devotion service. Because of that, immediately Lord makes sure that he remembers. He remembers him. Because he had a lost child, 10 children he had at 80 years old. Also he had a small child called Narayana. And then he uttered the Lord Narayana's name, specifically thinking about his child, as soon as Yamadutas came to snatch his soul. So that's where Prabhupada is making that point. Even if he committed, it was accidental fall down in Ajamila's case. Because Ajamila saw a man and a woman hugging on the public. So then he just saw and then he was attracted and captivated. He couldn't control himself and he married that prostitute. He left his own wife and he married the prostitute. This is accidental because he didn't wantedly do it. By somehow or the other, he was not able to control himself and it was accidental fall down in this case. But since he has done previously devotion service, Lord has protected him. Yamabhatas has come to take him, snatch his soul. Since he has chanted Narayana, so then Vishnu Dutas came. Narayana is so as soon as he chanted his son's name, immediately remembered Lord Narayana because Lord has made him remember. And then Vishnu Dutas came. So even Yamaraj doesn't have jurisdiction. As soon as one who engages in devotion service, Lord Krishna personally takes charge of his devotees. And Guru takes personal charge of his devotees, one who has surrendered. So that's how Lord has protected Ajamila in the case of, so in this case. So this is an accidental fall down. But one who does occasional, means regularly commits based on this verse, so it is still okay. I can chant on that strength of this verse, I can commit offense, I can commit abominable activities, I can do whatever I like. So then Lord Krishna will not accept, he cannot protect. And we will see that verse also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Gopinath Patanayak case, these are 5 brothers, Pandavas appearing in Chaitanya Leela. Ramanand Roy and others, Vaninath Roy, Gopinath Roy. So where Gopinath Roy was a government servant, he is taking the money, he is getting the money, he is using the money, collecting the money on government, but he is spending it for his own purpose. And then he has been ordered to be hanged, or his head to be cut off at that point. He is on the Changa. And then, yeah. So at that point, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been repeatedly requested. See, you are not taking care of your devotees. They have done so much service. These 5 brothers are Pandavas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I am sannyasi. What do I do about them? I have nothing to do about this government or this money, taking money. I have nothing to do with it. But then Mahaprabhu gives and then protection. Then he says, if he repeats again taking the money from this Rajadhan, then Lord Jagannath cannot protect him anymore. Since it is accidental, I am protecting him. So, but it cannot be repeated again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu makes this point. And we will see that in Kala Krishna Das case, another example from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Despite being with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he was there, he was attracted by the gypsies who captures women and keeps with them. Even they seemingly externally they may perform devotion service, but internally they are not following pure devotion service. And then even though he was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is attracted by the beautiful woman, and then he was captivated. He went in the morning without even informing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He went and joined their party. Then Mahaprabhu, understanding what's happening, immediately he went to there, and then he pulled him by the hair. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pulled him by the hair. So he has, even though it is abominable activity he has performed, he hasn't come, but he is joining, leaving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly, Lord himself, going there. Lord brought him 1 year. It took 1 year for him to go back to Jagannath Puri. But still Lord didn't reject him. Lord still accepted him. He kept with him all the way. Then he rejected because the Lord is showing how to be strict. One who is especially associating with sannyasi, he should be very strict. He cannot be of this behavior. So there he rejected. But then still, on this point of this verse, how Lord protects. In this case, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is using his devotees, Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadananda Pandit, Damodar, and Mukunda. These 4 devotees make sure that this Kala Krishna Das is sent to Shantipur to serve Sachi Mata and Advaita Acharya in this case. So we'll see like this many examples of how Lord protects the devotees, one who is engaged in devotion service. So that's why it's very important. But one should not take this verse and commit offenses on the strength of this verse, on the strength of devotion service. I can perform any about it. It can be only accidental, unknowingly. We are not able to control because of previous proclivities are there on the heart. So then that is considered okay. The Lord will protect. But if you are knowingly committing mistakes, knowingly doing these abominable activities, then it is not okay. Then Lord cannot, Guru cannot protect us. So that is the important point we have to understand. Now coming back to this, Apichet Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananyabhak. Ananyabhak is very important. Very important instructions are there. Unmotivated, uninterrupted devotion service is Apichet Suduracharo Bhajate Mam Ananyabhak. Yeah, Ananyabhak means pure devotion service. This pure devotion service specifically, so as couple of things we have to understand. The first and foremost instructions Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving as soon as he accepted sannyas. So he has informed Lord Nityananda, go and inform these 5 devotees. His mother is there and a few others he is informed. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spent with his devotees at that time. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started giving instructions. The first one, in order for us to come to the path of pure devotion service, Mahaprabhu is instructing. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Gao Krishna, Krishna Vinu Na Kichu Ar, Na Bhavinu Ar. Where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is mentioning that one must chant, one must hear, one must worship Lord Krishna only. Yadi prema sneha sabakar, take sabakar. If you have any love for me, then you don't, this Krishna Vyatirikta, so you don't give up my instructions. That's what it means. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing you only Krishna, only chanting Krishna's name, hearing Krishna, about Krishna, and worshipping Krishna. This is only you can do. Ki sayane, ki bhojane, ki jagarane, ahar nisha chinta, Krishna. Always, while sleeping, while waking up, while eating, always think about Krishna only. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given this specific instruction. This is what actually Ananya Bhak means. Pure devotion service means we are always, when you are on the altar or worshipping the deity, you are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, no other talk. That's why whenever we do service, always the class should go on or the kirtan should go on within the mind. Within the heart we should be chanting. Our class we should be hearing. Otherwise, automatically mind is doing something else. Sankalpa, vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. Always. So that is the mind's business. So that's why mind must be engaged in devotion service. You have to force the mind to engage in devotion service because that is the job. The gross body, subtle body is always forcing us to enjoy this material world. So soul's capacity, soul's consciousness is always eternal happiness. So that's why the soul is dependent on Guru and Krishna. Gross body, subtle body, we are using our free will to enjoy. So that's why, however we try, then we can't attain devotion, so we cannot get the actual happiness. So that's why we have to force the gross body, subtle body to be in the service, to be dependent on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. That means we have to follow Sri Prabhupada's instruction, where Prabhupada has clearly told to always chant, always hear. So regularly this must be done. Otherwise, unnecessary talk will go on. So that's why we should avoid that, because then you cannot accept. That means, imagine you are doing service, either whatever, garlands or cooking, and you are talking, and Krishna has to hear, because you are offering the bhoga, you are offering the garland. Krishna has to hear all these things. Imagine. So this is not the actual real loving devotion service. It is not pure devotion service. So this is the first point we have to understand. Then next we have to understand how we can actually do this 24/7. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu further giving instruction to Sanatana Goswami on this point also. Mahat Krupa vina kon karma nae, Krishna Bhakti dure rahu. Krishna Bhakti dure samsara nahikshay. Forget about even Krishna Bhakti, even to relieve from this material bondage also it becomes a distant thing. When you don't take shelter of Mahat Krupa. Mahat Krupa kon bhakti na hai. You cannot, kon karma. You may do chanting for years and years, but if you don't take shelter of Guru and Krishna, you don't chant under the guidance of Supreme Sri Krishna. And Prabhupada is making also in the Canto 8, Chapter 5, a few verses. Prabhupada is making the point. Just two things. Hearing Bhagavad Gita, chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra can take you back to Godhead. In another place, Prabhupada, we mainly specifically stress about only the two things to chant. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. These two are the ones more and more we chant whenever we are doing Sankirtan, especially in the temple setting. These are the two things we chant always. So all other things are once in a while only, during some bhajan special program or something. But otherwise, these are the, you will see Prabhupada most of the times he is chanting these only in the regular programs. There are separate bhajans but otherwise Prabhupada is stressing this point. To go back to Godhead, to actually attain pure devotion service, we have to follow the Mahat Krupa. That means whatever Prabhupada instructs, that's what we have to do. Hearing and reading Bhagavad Gita in the evening, hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam in the morning. And this is the process Prabhupada has specially given. So we should follow, even 5 minutes a day or 10 minutes, whatever it is, we should follow every day systematically. And we will see these further instructions also. How, where in the case of Vrutrasura's case also, where it is clearly mentioning that, is talking about how we can attain pure devotion service. Where in the purport Prabhupada talks about, in this is the verse, Aham Hare Padaika Moolam Dasanudasam Bhavatasmi Bhuya. So I want to become the servant of your devotees eternally. This is the submission. He is fighting with Indra and he is making this point. Vrutrasura is such a great devotee. I am sure I am going to go back to Godhead. And you being a Indra, you are not teaching pure devotion service. You are still looking for your own post. He is making this point and he is telling, I want eternally life after life serve. Not directly. Servant of servant. And Prabhupada makes the point. This is the sublime success. This is the secret of success. Always be in the association of devotees and serve the devotees. Follow the authority and serve them. Please them. Otherwise, how will you know whether Krishna is pleased? How will you know Krishna accepted our service? Only when Guru pleases. Only when the fire of Krishna consciousness is going on. Only when you are doing every day, that fire, the energy, the intense feeling, the happiness is coming. That means you know that Guru is pleased. Otherwise, day after day, obstacles are there. You are not able to chant, you are not able to come to temple, you are not able to do service, you are not able to hear properly, there is no attention, there is offenses everywhere. This means that you haven't pleased Guru. It means you haven't pleased devotees. The result will be blockage, bondage, anarthas. It cannot be removed. So then what do you have to do? You have to submit to Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making that point, especially in the Mother Sachi, I think chapter number 28, Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Bhagavat. There Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making that point. One must recognize the Vaishnava, and then one must avoid offenses to Vaishnavas. There If one submits to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, one prays to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, then he can recognize a Vaishnava. If one submits and prays, surrenders to Lord Nityananda Prabhu, then he can actually engage in devotional service. Then he can attain me, he can even able to come out of his offenses. So that is the power of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, and his representative Srila Prabhupada is carrying Lord Nityananda Prabhu's potency. So that's why we have to follow. So Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, the Guru Varga, so and the devotees, always be in the association of devotees. This is the instruction we see. This verse, Sridhar Swami considers, Vratrasura's prayers considers also very, very key, important in the whole Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we see also 𝗔𝗯𝗻 Maharaj's prayers also, you will see that. 𝗔𝗯𝗻 Maharaj is also talking about the same thing. I want to hear about your glories, I want to serve your devotees again and again. And the same point is stressed in most of the devotees' prayers again and again, repeatedly. Otherwise, there is no possibility. If you are your own plan, you are making your own plan, but you are not depending on Guru and Krishna, the pure devotees, sadhus, then there is no possibility to check our bondage, check our anarthas, check our difficulties. We cannot progress, we cannot engage, we cannot come to this pure devotion service, Ananya Bhak. So that when you have Ananya Bhak, then even if it is accidental fall down, then Lord is Lord is ready to protect. Otherwise, even if they leave it and then they continue next life, but why to wait till next life? Why to take? We have wasted enough lifetimes. So this life, let's give this life to Krishna. So this is the opportunity. If somebody is giving service, doesn't matter junior or senior, accept it. Understand, this is a rare opportunity in this life to do service for Krishna or his devotees. It's not easy. You think, go outside in the world and see how many are doing service to Krishna. Very rare, very few. And we should be very grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And we are getting service means through Guru and Krishna only we are getting service. Even though it's happening through devotees, it is happening because of Guru and Krishna only. Guru is arranging. What is there in the heart? Guru is arranging this service. Even if we are a preacher, whatever the case may be, even we are doing worshipping the deity on the altar or serving prasadam, whatever, even small service also, it is arranged by Guru and Krishna. Everything we are doing on behalf of Guru. Always understand this point. Otherwise, we will think that's why even if you have all the qualities, it will become zero. Prahlad Maharaj is making that point. With this verse, I will stop. Already 6:30. Manye dhana vijan rupa tapasruta ojas teja prabhava balabuddhi paurusha na aradhana parasya pumso bhaktya tutosha bhagavan gajayotapaya. Prahlad Maharaj is making this point. I don't have any qualities. None of this will actually Lord Krishna accepts. He is not happy. He is not actually pleased by any of these qualities. Dhana, rupa, sruta, scholarship, beauty, strength, prowess, even your intelligence. Many times we try to use your intelligence. Lord Brahma used his intelligence like anything. He came to his, he was grounded finally. That's why he took Brahma Haridas. He tried to use his intelligence to such an extent that even after making that offense, stealing the cohort boys and cows, rather he went and maybe I will be able to do without surrendering, submitting. Let me go and take his Uchchashta. Then he put his, he became a fish and tried to get the remnants of Uchchashta of Lord Krishna when he is washing the hand in Uddhava Kunda. That he used his intelligence, but this intelligence is not going to work in devotion service. Lord is not looking for our own intelligence. He is looking for our bhakti, our purity, our intention to serve, to please. This is what we should understand. So none of that say, Manye dhana vijan rupa tapasruta vaja teja prabhava bala buddhi yoga. But none of this will be accepted. Na aradhana hi parasya pumso bhaktya, only bhakti. Bhaktya tutosha bhagavan, and example is Gajendra. Gajendra 1,000 years he fought because we are also in the crocodile. Crocodile is catching, this Maya is catching, capturing left and right every day, not to engage in devotion service. The point is also that Rishi has told crocodile, you don't give up. Crocodile is only simply catching 1,000 years because he knows the point. You will not be delivered from this crocodile jaw and from your crocodile body only when you are actually holding devotees' feet, devotee, then you will be relieved. So that's why he is holding on, he is waiting for that day. Then finally Lord Vishnu came running at a speed of his mind. Leaving everything. He didn't even, Lakshmi Devi, he didn't tell, even he told Garuda became unconscious, he lifted with one hand. This happened in another place also. Lord lifting in Mandarachal mountain, when it got Samudra Manthan also, Lord lifted Mandara, one mountain, and demigod, demons, everything on one hand, and he ran and came, brought the Mandara mountain to the ocean. And that is the power of Lord Vishnu. You can understand what is inconceivable power. Lord can do anything. So Lord is very favorable to devotee. He ran. So much distance is there, but Lord ran like anything to protect Gajendra. Only he has a devotion. He understood. After 1,000 years fight, he understood that I have no qualities. My only Vidata has given. Will of providence has put me in this danger. Then who can protect? Only him. Only the Lord who has actually put me in this position. Then he offered a lotus leaf, whatever is there in that lotus flower, picked up and offered to Lord Vishnu. And then he put the Sudarshan Chakra and cut off the crocodile. Crocodile went back to his Gandharva position. But Gajendra went back to Godhead, because Gajendra was a devotee and he has performed devotion service. And in this way also he offered lotus flower to the Lord Vishnu. He was being protected. So that's why we have to understand that Ananya Bhak, pure devotion service, how Lord protects and how Bhava should be used. How not use our intelligence, your strength, your scholarship, whatever, during service especially. While doing service, always think that you are doing on behalf of Guru and Krishna. And offer back. After your service is finished, go and offer obeisance to Prabhupada and Guru that I am offering everything back to you. Please forgive me my offenses in my offering, in my cooking, in my arati, in my service. Always submit it. Submit back again. Then this is where it completes a pure devotion service. Then we have a way to become fired up always. Every day we are in fire. Fire doesn't stop. Otherwise fire will stop. Because we are constantly thinking this is my qualification. This is my strength. I have qualification. I have intelligence. I am a great, deity dresser, or a great garland maker, or great cake maker, whatever. We think all these qualifications. Because others are saying. Prahlad Maharaj also, Sanatana Goswami is also telling. Everybody calls me Pandit, but I am not a Pandit. So that's why you will see in Narottam Das Thakur's prayers also. Yogita na vichare, kichu nahi paya. Karuna na hoile, kandiya. Prana rakhibo ar. Beautiful prayers. Guru Dev Krupa Bindu Daya. In that verse, you will see last one paragraph, last stanza, clearly making. There is no Yogita, no qualification. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's prayers, I think this is. No, I don't have any qualification. My only qualification is made because of Guru. Because of you, my spiritual master, I have this, do whatever service, whatever little bit I am able to do. That is because of you only. If you don't give me your mercy, then I will cry and I have to give up this body. I have no other shelter other than you. You submitting. So this is the way when you submit like this every day while doing service, while doing chanting, then our life will success. Because Prabhupada will always protect. Our Guru will always protect. Because he knows exactly what is there. Our Paramatma is there. He is revealing to Guru what we are doing, what we are not doing. So we cannot hide. Even though Guru is not there personally, many people think, how will I know? How will Guru know? Guru knows. Guru will know. Paramatma will reveal what exactly we are doing, what we are not doing. So this is the main point in this verse. More than these abominable offenses, abominable activities, occasionally, accidentally committing, more important is pure devotion. Ananya Bhak is very important. Because this is in chapter 9. Krishna is stressing this point throughout this 9th chapter about this pure devotion service without any other motivations. Always be in the fire, especially in the association of devotees. And I will conclude with this. Prahlad Maharaj. Look at all his prayers, what he is submitting. Lord Narasimha accepted me, put his hand on my head, he patted me, he is massaging me and is kissing me, all this. Only what qualification? I have no qualification. If at all, if I have qualification, only because of my spiritual master. Narada Muni has given mercy, that's why Lord Narasimha appeared. That's why Lord Narasimha is patting me. That's why Lord Narasimha is showing Vatsalya. Prahlad Maharaj submitting. So what, imagine, if Prahlad Maharaj is such a great devotee, what qualification we have? So then, if he is thinking everything belongs to Guru, then how we can think that I have this qualification, that qualification? We have no qualification for that. So that's why let us all submit to Sri Prabhupada and his spiritual master, his disciples, then our life will be successful. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I am telling you, guaranteed. We have many, some fell down when Prabhupada was there also. And Prabhupada makes sure that he remembered that devotee. One instance specifically has been called out in many instances. I cannot tell the name. They called out that Prabhupada remembered and he went back to Godhead. They have been told, disciples have told. So even though he fall down, he will act, but he has done such a service, Prabhupada remembered him. And then he went back to God. When Guru remembers the disciple may say that my Guru is great, but if Guru thinks that he is great disciple, then that's it, his life is success, he is going back to Godhead, period. So that's why we have to make sure that our life, our everyday's business is to submit to Guru and please Guru. How can I serve? Ask them, his representative. Because Guru may be busy, Guru may have so many things, you don't need to disturb him. But you can ask his representative, how can I serve? How can I serve? How can I please? What can I do? Always we should be asking rather than receiving, and we should be looking forward to service. In this way our life will be success and we can come to this Ananya Bhak. It's very easy process. If your heart is simple like Prahlad Maharaj, like Vratrasura, there's all these great devotees. If heart is simple, then it's easy. If heart is not simple, you are always using logic, argument. This devotee says something, that devotee says something, and so why is like this? Why is he telling me like this? Then you can never engage in devotion service. Forget about who says. Given service, just do it, and then go back home and chant and hear. Be blissful, chant and be happy. That's it. No other things, just leave it. Leave it to Krishna. Krishna is there to look after that. That is not our business. Our business is to do only service. So that ends. That's it. So thank you very much for patiently listening. Maharaj, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Let us chant Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya, Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namo. Vaishnavanda ki jai. Thank you. We'll stop here, 6:39 already.